Hello everybody, I am Farah Ajmi with the help of my partner Fatmah. Today we will present to you Dorothea Lange. Let's ask ourselves, who is Dorothea Lange? She is an American documentary photographer born on May 26, 1895 in New Jersey. She attended New York Training School for Teachers in 1913 to study photography. After she joined Columbia University to study the art of photography, she worked with great photographers such as Arnold Jenneth. She had her first job as an office assistant with him, and after a while, she opened a portrait studio in San Francisco. In her last decade, she was diagnosed with post-polio syndrome, which made her walk with a limp, and esophageal cancer. At her age of 70, after her battle with cancer, she died on October 11th, 1965. As for the context, the art movement that she used is post-impressionism and expressionism that experience everyday scenes and subjects in her work and focuses more on personal things. And her pick started in 1936. She photographed many exposure in which made her work known widely. Among her works, The Migrant Mother, Newport, California, which we are going to talk about later, a photograph that is considered as an icon of the Great Depression, where in her work she documented people's hardship in life. Lange's most successful photographs were taken during the Great Depression period. She became famous after the exhibition of her photograph at the Museum of the Modern Art in 1940. This slide focuses on work of Dorothea Lange, which is portrait photography. The details of this art is photography are described as the art of capturing the animate character of the subject within a photograph. It enables capturing personality and emotion with a photography. As we saw in her photographs, it presents deep emotions through Dorothea's work. She viewed the face of people who served and captured an important time, which is the Great Depression period. This style of photography was first practiced by great artists such as Picasso in the 21st century. Lange made portrait photography her style in almost all of her exposure. The art of this style is to capture as stunning as well as emotive portrait that is feeling evoking to viewers and attention grabber. The intense emotions behind the portrait makes the viewers think about the photo and the meaning that it holds. Now, briefly, let's talk about Dorothea's work and what it went through. Ling, as an artist, enjoy capturing emotional moments to use as exposures in her effort to effect social change. With photography, Ling was able to confront various circumstances around her and others urgent. Many of her works were obtained by the government for 30 years because they showed the painful truth of what people were going through. She managed to document the period after the attack on Pearl Harbor by Japan. A lot of Japanese Americans were forced to go into internment camps, although they did not commit any crimes. She captured the mistreatment that they had gone through, and the government didn't approve her photographs until 30 years later. Let's talk about the portrait migrant mother Nipomo from California. The portrait was photographed in 1936. The piece of photographic art was captured by Dorothea Lange during the height period of the Great Depression, and it's one of the most powerful ones she took. It used to epitomize the desperate situation that many people found themselves during this period, as we can see in the woman's facial expressions and the way her children are positioned on her shoulders. The artist captured three subjects in the picture with a good balance to create empathy and evoke feelings or emotions to the viewers. And it can make you feel her sadness and how tired she is. The children are nestling mother's shoulders. The picture is evenly proportioned to create unity within the photograph. It also can show how their mother is powerful to them, leaning on her to give them strength through that time. This piece is exhibited in the Museum of Modern Art, California. The message behind it had a loud voice, so it is a special piece of art that still can represent different issues nowadays. The meaning behind this great artwork of Lange's. The expression of the photography portrait is too pure, immaculate. It represents the raw feelings without any additional intake, which makes it more sincere, honest. Ling used this work to expose the situation of people during this period. The migrant mother's name is Florence Opens Thompson. She was a farmer who came to that area with her husband and children before the Dust Bowl, in a state that perfectly resembled her situation. The mother had two kids on both of her shoulders, also with a baby in her lap. Their position gives a very powerful feeling of dependence on the mother and very desperate woman that is serving to manage a decent life for her family. Dorothea's love is portrays for photography because she always believed it will deliver and deal with the situation during her time. This was her way for standing up to people that words would not delivered the feelings that portrays manage to transfer. Fascination with art of photography and what it can do in events and situations of desperation and hardship. After the picture was released, the people who were suffering managed to get it because of the loud message Dorothea Lange managed to spread through her portraits. To summarize, Dorothea Lange was artistic photographer, became famous in 1936. She was active through the Great Depression era. She used photography to effect social change, bring justice to people or help spreading what have been happening in that time. Provide the relevance of Dorothea's work in the present day life. Photography is an art that has served society on important subjects that need to be. Photography can be used for expression. It's like any other kind of art form. It can have it can have several meanings depending on the person's perspective, time that the photo have been taken, and event that occurs. Social engagement using descriptive style of photography. And finally, I will ask you about my project, some of the questions. Okay. First of all, how can you define portrait photography? What do you know about it? Secondly, when was the transition in Lange's career? What made her famous? Finally, what other meaning do you see in migrant mother portraits? What feelings does it project in your mind or in your opinion? Thank you for listening.